to Engage 8 via the Blitz podcast, your daily segment where we bring you 8 minutes of the hardest hitting news from the NFL of the day, or just shit that we would generally like to talk about. So we only got 8 minutes, so without further ado, let's dive into it. And what we're gonna be talking about today is a little bit more of the Panthers talk. With this Engage 8 has been pretty Panther-centric so far, but I mean, not very often do you see head coaches fired in the middle of the year with as many star-studded guys on the team as the Panthers do right now. So the trade deadline's coming up on November 1st, and two of the guys that are looking to head out of town, most likely, are Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. So we are throwing together some potential trade packages for the two. So, Jaden, you want to lead us off with your CMC package?
Yeah, so I really like CMC potentially heading to the Rams. I know that it's been reported that the Rams or the 49ers could be getting involved here. Um, and I think it makes a lot of sense. Obviously, Matt Stafford, a player that he likes to throw to, and Christian McCaffrey is one of those types of players. And their running game has been very poor so far. Cam Akers is barely seeing the field. When he does, he's very unproductive. They've already said that they want to find a new home for him. I think Carolina would be the perfect place to restart because you're walking into an offense with PJ Walker starting at quarterback right now. So you could give him, 15, 20 touches a game, potentially in Carolina, and he could prove his worth to Carolina, and if not for them, then maybe his career is just over. But it's clearly not working in LA right now. LA is known to push the chips to the front of the table to go and try and win a Super Bowl. I know it doesn't look great right now, and if they do make a deal, probably should be for an offensive lineman of some sort. So maybe they do trade for like Christian McCaffrey and Cam Irving, who's also on this Carolina Panthers roster, was a tackle that they signed 2 years ago, but they've got Iga Mekwonu, Taylor Moton on either side, so they could definitely make a move like that. So I like that a lot for the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, I can't hate on that either. Do you see it being a Cam Akers CMC straight up swap, or like the Rams would have to? Yeah,
No, absolutely not. The only problem is McCaffrey's cap hit is it's not that much this year. I believe it's like 6 or 7 million, but next year and the following year it's 19.9 million, which is nothing to turn your nose up at, especially with the Aaron Donald deal and the Jalen Ramsey contract and Stafford and Cooper Kupp. Like they've got guys that they need to pay, but again, they've been known to, push the chips towards center of the table to try and win a Super Bowl. That's how they were able to win a Super Bowl last year. So I don't put it past them to look to try and do something like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, fuck them picks is a signature saying in LA, so it would make a lot of
Yeah.
sense that CMC ends up there.
Yeah. So maybe like a second in Cam Akers. I know I didn't say a package, but I'd say a second in Cam Akers could get the deal done for
Okay,
LA.
sweet. I mean, I've been singing this from the rooftops as a destination for CMC. I mentioned it yesterday again. The 49ers, I just feel like is way too good of a fit. Kyle Shanahan seems like he runs that offense as if it's made for guys like Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey, guys who are just God-gifted handlers of the football in any sense. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And in that package, I threw this together with the PFF mock draft simulator because that's probably the most reliable trade analyzer out there right now. And the 49ers will end up getting CMC, and the Panthers received the third-round pick from the 49ers this past year, Ty Davis-Prince, who's the running back out of LSU. Would make a lot of sense. Goes up with Chuba Hubbard. You've got two nice young running backs there after you trade away CMC. Then you would also get a 2023 fourth-round pick in that and a 2024 fourth-round pick. So I think that makes a lot of sense. I was kind of looking at some of the packages for running backs like that I could remember around the trade deadline. Trent Richardson, he went for, but that was coming off of his rookie season, and he went for a first-round pick alone, and then LaShawn McCoy went for Kiko Alonso. So it's like it's hard to rate that value there.
And it's changed so much from when those guys were moved. Like now we're moving towards the movement of running backs don't matter, but I do think that the movement of running backs do matter is starting to come back. You see teams starting to drop more into coverage to try and stop these elite wide receivers that we have in the NFL now, and the running game is as strong as it's been in a long time, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, let's dive into our next star-studded guy who's probably on his way out of Carolina by November 1st, and that is DJ Moore. So what package you got together for DJ?
Well, since you decided was a good idea pre-show to take my team. Just decision, I was left with scraps. I didn't want to do the classic Baltimore Ravens because the Ravens, I think he's about 10 years too young for them to be interested in him. So options were kind of limited. The Chiefs are a team that I think could potentially want to do this. I know that their offense has been humming so far, but I don't know if they're going to want to part with draft capital when they've got enough sufficient guys. I think a team like the Dallas Cowboys, where this team looks to be a legit Super Bowl contender as of right now, especially with Dak Prescott coming back. They do play the NFC East schedule, which is towards the bottom as far as strength of schedule goes for the rest of the season. And CeeDee Lamb is there. Obviously, Michael Gallup just came back. But then after that, you're looking at Noah Brown. I think this is the type of move that pushes you over the edge if you're Dallas. Probably a first-round pick is what it's going to cost you just because DJ Moore is still, I believe, 26 years old, just got paid, so he's going to be under contract 3 years, and it's $20 million a year, that's less than what Christian Kirk is making. I think that'd be like the baseline for now on, is like, is he making less than Christian Kirk? Okay, that's a good deal, which is really weird to say out loud. But again, this is the type of move that makes you a Super Bowl team. Jerry Jones, this may be the last chance that he gets to win a Super Bowl. I think he's going to want to push the chips towards the center of the table and go get a guy like DJ Moore.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Cowboys are signature for making moves. It's fucking Jerry Jones. And, I mean, this is an interesting year for the Cowboys. This is one of the first years, really, that they've going into the year, they didn't seem to have too much, they have more competition than they have ever in the Eagles. Like, it's usually been Cowboys every year. But anyway, let me throw out my last two packages for DJ Moore. We mentioned the Cowboys, and the Ravens are obviously an obvious destination. I've got packages for the Ravens and the Packers. My Ravens package is DJ Moore headed to Baltimore for J.K. Dobbins, which makes a lot of sense if you're shipping out CMC. For J.K. Dobbins, who has been liking pictures on Twitter of him getting traded, him in different uniforms, so it makes sense. So it would be DJ Moore for J.K. Dobbins, a 2024 second-round pick, and a 2023 fourth-round pick. Couldn't seem to get PFF to want to do that first-round pick. And then as far as the Packers go, they would get DJ Moore, and in return, the Panthers would receive Amari Rodgers, who was a really good receiver coming out of Clemson, second-round pick, I believe, and hasn't really panned out there so far. So it makes sense to ship him off. So it would be Amari Rodgers, a 2023 third and fourth round pick, and then a 2024 second round pick for DJ Moore. So I think those both make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I like those packages a lot as well. The reason why we didn't really include like a Brian Burns or a Derek Brown is because they've basically come out and said that they don't want to move those guys, considering, they are really good. Obviously, I think it'll be smart for the Panthers to move Brian Burns just because they're about to have to pay him, and their timeline, they're 2 to 3 years away now, starting this offseason. So you're not going to be able to move Brian Burns for anything. But DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, I think are guys that need to go in Carolina.
Yeah, for sure. And with that just about wraps us up with our 8 minutes on Engage 8 today. Daily segment we'll be doing every day. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow.